Do you want to have the ultimate control over your life? Welcome to Take Control with Whitney Wells, where we will explore all topics of life that we try and control, what this creates for you, and how to have successful relationships all while empowering yourself. Keep listening and let's have some fun. Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of Take Control with Whitney Wells. So I took a few weeks off from doing this podcast because I wanted to spend the time with my son. He actually started virtual kindergarten, and we had some ups and some downs, and it's been actually super fun. I know most parents probably wouldn't use that word to describe this, but I have actually enjoyed spending this time with him. I have told myself intentionally that I am excited and lucky and blessed to experience this extra time where he usually would be starting a new chapter of his life in school. Now, at some point, of course, I want him to go back. Of course, I want him to get those benefits of school. But right now, I'm choosing to enjoy it. It's what's on our plate, right? We've been given virtual kindergarten. This is what we have to deal with. And I'm choosing to really embrace it and have fun with it. So I took these few weeks off from doing the podcast. I just wanted to spend this time with him and give him the attention that was needed. But I'm back. So today we're going to talk about processing in order to move forward. So what I mean by that is processing your feelings, processing that clean pain in order to move forward, to move through it. Now, I want to mention that we can never actually get to the point where we don't have to do thought work. It's not like we come to this magical place where we've learned all this stuff and poof, it disappears. We don't have to do it anymore. We're always having thoughts. We're always having feelings. So we're always either choosing intentionally what we want to think and feel. We're either choosing intentionally to process those vibrations, those feelings within us, or we're just letting things run havoc, right? We're at the mercy of it. So we can either decide intentionally and be deliberate with it, or we can be at the mercy and just let our thoughts be our thoughts and run wild and have our feelings and react from those feelings. We have that choice. But thought work is always there. And I say this because I want to tell you that I am right there with you. So while I'm on this podcast and I'm telling you all these tools and I'm giving you all these different ways to work through this or that, or, think differently about this or process this feeling, I am right there with you. I'm also processing feelings, thinking about things deliberately or not. Sometimes I do it right. Sometimes I do it wrong. I am right there with you. And it's just part of life. We have thoughts, we have feelings, and we can decide how we want to react or allow or resist those feelings. We can decide what thoughts serve us better or not. So the topic today that we're going to talk about, this is so important. It's such an important part of this thought work, is how to process our clean pain. We're going to talk about feelings. Now, your feelings aren't a problem. Your feelings are never a problem. Your feelings are just that vibration within your body. Now, sometimes we learn thought work, right? We have thoughts and they are optional. We learn this and we're like, okay, we have optional thoughts, so I can actually choose to think differently about this. I can actually feel differently about this. And we get excited, right? We're like, yes, great. I'm just going to swap out my thought. I'm going to jump to a new thought so I can feel differently immediately. I mean, why wouldn't we want to do that? I've done it. I've done it lots of times. But I want to offer to you and caution you on just slowing down. Slowing down to experience that feeling. The feeling is not the problem. The vibration is not the problem. I know that we want to get to that better feeling place. Like, why would I want to feel bad, right? Why would you want to feel bad? You have the power to control how you feel, so why would you want to feel bad? I'll tell you why. Because negative emotions aren't bad. They aren't a problem. This is where we want to land. We want to get comfortable with feeling those negative emotions. The human experience involves both negative emotions and positive emotions. Now, we can think about this in terms of ourselves, but we can also think about it in terms of somebody else, right? So you have somebody in your life that you love, and you don't want them to feel bad. But what if feeling bad was perfect? What if feeling bad was just their experience? Was part of their human experience? We would welcome that negative feeling. We would lean into it and know that it was supposed to happen that way. The goal is to be comfortable with those feelings of uncomfort. With those uncomfortable feelings, we want to reach that place. The point of thought work is to be aware of what our thoughts are creating. And then decide intentionally how you want to think about that feeling, how you want to think and feel. But you don't want to skip straight over to that positive thought, to feeling that positive feeling. Because skipping to feeling positive right away just pushes that negative emotion down, and it will eventually come back stronger. So we want to process, and this is what we're talking about today, processing to move forward. So, for example, as I just mentioned earlier, my son is in virtual kindergarten, and I am really enjoying this. I know that's very strange, but I'm really actually enjoying this process and this whole experience with him. There are times that I also don't show up the best I could. Sometimes I get frustrated and I'm short with him, or I may raise my voice or snap at him. Now, I don't like when I show up this way. I really don't like it. But this frustration that I feel, this is clean pain. This is the type of negative emotion we want to process through. Allowing myself to feel that frustration when I'm in that moment and not pushing it away allows me to feel the vibration in my body instead of reacting to it, which would look like snapping at him or being short with him or raising my voice. So I want to process and not push away that frustration. Feel that vibration within my body. And what I want to caution myself with doing is not jump to that new thought. So I'm feeling frustrated, and I can either push that feeling away and be like, okay, I recognize that I am feeling frustrated, and I could jump to that new thought. I could do that thought work around the circumstance. I could change my thought if I wanted to. But what is more powerful and what is more long-lasting and sustainable is to actually allow myself to feel that frustration. I'm frustrated, and that's okay. Now, this is really important. The type of pain I suggest letting go of is that dirty pain. So what I mean by dirty pain is that negative emotion that has you feeling stuck. So let's take my example from earlier. After I feel this frustration, right, when something is occurring with the virtual learning, and if I don't allow this, if I don't allow my frustration, and instead I react to it by either like raising my voice, snapping at him, or being short with him, I end up feeling guilty after that. I'm judging my actions. So this type of pain, this guilty feeling, is considered dirty pain because it has me feeling stuck. It has me beating myself up. Whenever you're beating yourself up, you're not moving forward. Whenever you're putting yourself down, you're not moving forward. It is not useful. It produces no traction or movement. So after recognizing that I'm creating it with my thoughts, right? First, you want to recognize it. You want to be aware. And the thought that I came to was, I'm a bad mom. And that's creating that guilt. Now, when I recognize that, it's because of my thought. Now, it's not because I raised my voice. It's not because of the actions I took. It's not because of the words I said or how I behaved. It's because of the thought I had about that. I'm a bad mom. Now, when I can recognize where my power is, which is within my thought about my actions, then I can let it go. I can release it. I can question this thought and move to a new thought more quickly. Because I recognize that this emotion serves no purpose for anyone. Guilt only creates actions that do not move me forward and actually have me continue to show up in ways that I don't want to. For me, for my son, for the people around me. So I recognize this and then I let it go. Now this is the dirty pain. This is the pain that will not produce any movement forward. So when wondering what emotions to process and which to let go, just ask yourself, what is this feeling making me move forward, or am I feeling stuck? So frustration, I want to process through. I want to feel that vibration, allow myself to feel it instead of reacting to it, instead of jumping to that new thought. And guilt, when I feel guilty, I want to recognize where it's coming from, know that I produced this with my mind, and then let it go. It's not serving anybody. So what emotions are painful for you? What are you experiencing? What sentences are creating those? So I like to simplify it all to see it for what it truly is. So simply put, I have a thought, a sentence runs through my brain, and this sentence creates the feeling inside me. And this feeling is simply a vibration in my body, nothing more. So, simply put, a sentence creates a vibration. I like to simplify it down. Make it not something super big and heavy, but something very simple. The feeling starts in our heads with the sentence and then goes to our bodies. So to process it, you want to start in your head and then you want to drop into your body and be out of your head. So you want to recognize it's coming from your head, from your thoughts, but then you want to drop into your body and be out of your head in order to process it. I don't need to rush away from this vibration. I don't need to hurry and have a different vibration. I am strong and powerful and enough that I can allow this vibration to be inside me without reacting or avoiding or resisting it. So there are 4 ways to handle emotions. You can react, you can resist, you can avoid, or you can allow. Now, I suggest allowing your emotions instead of the other 3, instead of reacting, resisting, or avoiding. Now, when we thought swap, when we jump to that new thought, we're pushing our emotions away. We're not experiencing them. And they will come back. So, I know that there are things happening in your life that are different than mine. So let's just take some examples. So let's say what your partner says or does, or you act in some way, you behave in some way. Something factual occurs outside of you. And then you have a sentence in your brain. And then you have a vibration. The thing that happens, or the thing that was said, or the thing that occurred, means nothing until you have that sentence in your brain. The vibration that this sentence creates is totally able to be felt and allowed and processed through. You can absolutely lean into it and be open to it. Now, oftentimes, these emotions come in waves. And just be open to it. Allow that wave to process through you. And then you may go to a place where you feel a bit better. And then it may come back and process it through. You don't need to swap out your thoughts so quickly. You don't need to swap out those sentences, right? They're just sentences. You don't need to push away those vibrations. See them and feel them. Being uncomfortable is not a bad thing. Feeling our feelings is not a bad thing. Our feelings are never the problem. Remember, life is 50-50 with emotions. We're gonna feel bad 50% of the time, and that's okay. So see your sentences for what they are. See your vibrations for what they are. Let yourself feel those vibrations. And then only when you aren't trying to push away and to jump to that new place so quickly, that's when you decide intentionally how you want to think and feel. I hope this helped, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening. Do you want to explore these topics further? Are you ready to live the life that you want to live on purpose while controlling what you have control over? I would love to be your life coach. If you're interested, simply head over to WhitneyWellsCoaching.com and book an appointment with me today. I can't wait to work with you.